A public hearing was held at Kingston City Hall on Monday night. It dealt with federal funding out of the city's Community Development Office. Mayor Shane Gallo spoke at the meeting. He objected to 3 of the programs that are being funded, but later said he'd have to think twice about it. I'm Paul Kirby, reporting for the Daily Freeman.
Offer opportunity for our community's largest group of underprivileged children to have access to resources that they might not ordinarily have access to, but it is also a public space where people of that community neighborhood can come and enjoy.
I'm here to support the GW Natural Playscape project, and I just wanted to clarify this evening that 2 of the concerns that we learned at the Community Development Advisory Committee was that the mayor's recommendation came down because, one, that a playscape or a playground should be paid for by the school district, and that 2, the concern that supporting the school, one school might encourage others to come to the city for requests such as this. In our proposal, we wrote that we wanted to create a natural playscape classroom as well as to augment our existing playground as a process to move into developing the entire space, but also working as a partnership with the City of Kingston to create community space.
But there was comments made about how populations in the city are the ones who should be deserving to spend money. There was a comment made that the Hot Center will connect to this community play space. Actually, what has been done, and my recommendation, is that the Rondell Center will now be open all year round, providing services to the kids down in Rondell who can't afford to go to Hasbrook Park because they don't have the money to be able to go there, you see. And they're going to be able to play basketball or partnering up with community action. That site, that center, will be open all year round. So it's respectfully submitted. We are connecting Hod Center, the key in the entitlement zone area, with Rondell, which is also part of that entitlement zone. I spoke to Superintendent Paul Palladino. He wanted me to reiterate what he told me recently. The district is closing 3 schools. Teachers are being laid off. Cleaners, food service personnel, little ladies who cook for the kids, aides, paras are all being laid off from these schools in the consolidation. And you wanted me to publicly state tonight, the district is not in a position to give this group the capacity to do what you want. He is not in a position to provide any funding. And right now it's respectfully submitted that the $15,000 that has been recommended for the allocation is for a design study, for a project that possibly, not possibly, will not be funded, for several years, if at all, by the Kingston School District. And he wanted me to state that publicly, and he's willing to sit down with all the good folks from the PTO and explain to them that the only thing he can do is probably provide you with 2 guys, a shovel, and a truck for a couple of days. But he does not have the resources to invest into this outdoor classroom or this playground. So what am I saying? For 10 years, we watched, the prior administration, engage in a practice where money was given to groups that not only didn't have meet eligibility criteria, didn't have the capacity to be able to do what they said they were going to do in their application that they were requesting funding. So I'm in a situation, again, where now looking at all these other good folks, these not-for-profit groups, who are in the same ballpark. They do not have the capacity to do what they say they're going to do in their applications. So therein lies the problem. The Community Advisory Board, which makes recommendation that the request and the information provided by Ms. Fuentes, who's the director of the agency, they spoke loud and clear. They indicated, that these groups unfortunately don't meet the bill. They don't have the criteria. They don't have the capacity to do these things.
So actually, we fixed it up, but we never asked for the money. And I think the reason why I didn't didn't do it, it's just because I was so busy working on this new Clearwater bill. And so I do want to say really pretty clearly that we do have the capacity there to get things done. And even though the Maritime Museum...
I was just pointing out, no disrespect, I was just pointing out that 5 times the executive director was called, and 5 times he responded, and then he informed my community development director today or the other day, it's got $1 million, okay, invested down there, and then the question is why can't it come up with 35,000?
No, I understand. I'm not making excuses. We have a new director and he's getting his feet on the ground. And I was sort of hoping not to have to get too involved in this stuff anymore. But the reality is the museum still is a hand-to-mouth operation. And we do need to get those tanks remediated. I mean, it's just terribly important, not only to our tourism, but also to the kids from the high school that use that as rowing teams and the sailing clubs. And so I'm saying that if you allocate us the money and you find it does not get done, please come to me and I will be sure it gets done.